Okay, so I tried to record Lorn's lore the last two chapters for a while now, but um my OBS wasn't working. It pretty much had a hard time trying to process everything was just going at a very very slow rate, as if like it was going picture by picture frames. I tried to fix the settings, look up anything to try to fix it, but nothing. So I decided to use or borrow some clips of the last two chapters to show, because I wanted to record everything so everyone could see what was going on and the ending. But again, it was just shitting bricks. I'm definitely gonna credit out the people who I used the clips for, but from what I remember, uh, the second to last is called Sunken City. You start off with you're falling through a hole after the last chapter, and you try to stop your momentum, but you lose your pickaxe or they break. You try to stop with your arms and legs for a while, but to no avail. Then you find yourself in this weird little cave or temple like structure, and you have to maneuver your way out to get to proceed to the whole area. And then once you get out, you see a broken city that seems to be flooded. But it's not just any water. It looks like it's covered in oil, toxic waste in a way. The air seems to be polluted, or to the point where it's not breathable. And you see a guy trying to drink whatever it is, but chances to say the guy will die eventually. Next to him, you will also see about 9 or 10 helmets from the observers, hinting potentially that they've died or were killed, and those are like the remains. You continue to progress everything, and you see what looks like castles or towers in a way. And the more you progress, the more you start to see what I believe are like either the observers, like actual there, or their spirits, or what's left of them there. Some just hanging by the ledge, contemplating on no way of leaving, or too scared to see, or to even move forward. And you continue to go more and more, and then you find piles of skulls on the floor as if you're in the catacombs. It's definitely interesting. The music doesn't help it either. It just makes it all more eerie. And the more you move on, you start to see more people. It is easy to find a few of them, but I definitely continue to. I also got surprised when I found more hiding in other places. There's what I believe to be a kid watching a TV, but it's flashing like different pictures, signals, or signs. You can't really interact with the kid. There's another person like literally outside of that building at a grave. Seems that they're scared about something, talking about something's coming after them, or there's no point in running away because whatever it is going to get you. And it makes it it gives you more questions than answers. I was more puzzled on what was going on, more than usual in the game. You continue to climb up, following the void or the bird-like thing, and I start to see people being, how do you say, being tormented, crushed, or nailed to the wall, or boulders or rocks. There's somebody that's being crushed by a boulder, but for some reason they can't scream. They look like they're in a lot of pain, but they can't make any sound. There's another TV lighting up signals, the same signals, but there's no kid. There's this weird creature on top of a building that seems to be looking for its prey or waiting for someone to come out of hiding. Somebody, yeah, like I said, somebody nailed to a rock, screaming in pain. It makes you wonder throughout the game, like, was it a good choice to continue moving forward? Like, what's gonna happen if you do? Because all these signs of people screaming, getting scared, or hypnotized, I guess, is and in my opinion, making you rethink your choices of following the thing. And you progress more up to the tower, and you find this abandoned church, and you see a guy, either I think it was scratching off some sigils, or creating them on this stone. There's, I think it was eyes, stairs, and something else. And you run past the guy, and you keep moving forward. And I think there was one where there's a tower while you're climbing. This gigantic thing that's locked up, but you can't interact with it either. But I think it's also alive, because I think it was looking at me when I was moving around it, or it's just, or at least getting close to it, but you can't really talk with it or even say anything. I could be wrong, but when I tried to scan it, I got nothing. And then once you get all the way up top to the tower, first, out in the sky, you see this weird moon-like shaped thing in the sky. It looks like an eye that's closed, but it doesn't do anything until you get all the way up to the tower, where you find like some type of generator or portal, and there's a person floating in front of it, and next to the portal there's this TV or computer. Once you scan into it, it starts to freak out, and the word "I understand" repeat over and over and over, non-stop, until you scroll all the way down, and it tells you that repeat of something is being corrupted, and it needs to shut off. The second you click out, the portal activates, and the only way to I guess move forward is to jump into it. And then once you get into it, you find yourself what looks like the Garden of Eden. Everything's like clear, the water's clear. There's pyramids out in the distance, and it looks like it's going for miles. And you get your pickaxe, but you also get an upgrade with it where you can grapple pretty much on anything, the water or trees, rocks, or even like floating structures. And then you also find rocks or what believes to be statues with these weird meanings. And it definitely was hard to continue to, or just at least to progress for a while until I got the hang of it with the grappling. It still was tough, but I managed to find a way to get to use it. And the only way to progress is to go to this, what looks like this giant rock out in the ocean. And the second that you touch it, everything starts to freak out. Everything turns red. The text, "My life is a mistake. Life is a mistake." And the whole world like glitches out, and you're confronted, from what an NPC says at the end, a demon. It kind of paralyzes the character, almost shuts it down, saying how it's dumb that it followed the light, that you were being used just to get I think it was the essence of madness that the character has, and you manage to escape it somehow. And there's a giant chase sequence. You're pretty much running through this giant labyrinth that's shutting down or trying to take you down, and there's no stopping. If you make a mistake, if you pause for a second, or even look back, you're being chased by this giant black void, and everything else around you is also like closing. Buildings start to shift to shut down, or at least close the gaps. These spores start popping up, trying to block your access through holes just to get through. All at the same time, you hear people screaming. It's almost as if there are people who try to escape but died in the process. The music is also intense too. I remember reading one comment from somebody saying the music is very upbeat but also scary, that it's like you're trying to run out of hell. And that definitely was it when I first played it. It definitely got on it definitely made me stay on my toes, stay alert, try to be as quick as I can, try to find the fastest route, or try to find faster ways to progress through the stage. But it was always difficult. It took me about 3 hours just to finish it. I did have to pause a few times just to like walk around, catch a breather or something, because it was getting very annoying with some of the spots to escape. You're either trying to get out of buildings that are trying to crush you, getting away from lava that's rising, or trying to escape the black void. I mean, you're always escaping it, but it continues to follow you regardless. And the only thing I remember the most about that was hearing people scream. It definitely was. How do you say? Not scary, but I don't know the right words to say, but it was definitely I guess you could say tough to not freak out whenever you hear people screaming, either next to you or off in the distance while you're trying to escape. You also see their spirits, like either falling, trying to climb things, or people dying. Or I think there was one person who was in a fetal position in one of the pillars, slowly about to die. Again, it was definitely not the kind of game I was expecting at the end, because yeah, you die a lot if you mess up or stuff like that, but not to something like this where it was very intense. The ending of it, you're pretty much being surrounded by like small spaces. There are like a few different ways to get out. You can go from the left, the right, or the bottom. But again, one wrong move, one slip up, and you're caught by the black void. You have to think quick, and also be careful, because it's not like an empty hallway. You're being blocked off by other parts of rocks or pieces of building in the way. The floor has gaps or has a giant lava pool on the bottom of it. It took me many tries. I've been close. I have had moments where I was super close, where I would be near the end, but I would slip, or the void was like literally right behind me, and I was like too slow. The ending, you make it to the light, and from what it seems like, the NPC that you find literally at the end of the game, like I said, tells you you were corrupted by a demon. It lured you by making you follow the light, and it just goes after people's madness, and not a lot of people make it. But the player does make it. They're pretty much hatched out of this egg or flower, and it's like a new life in a way. It tells you to the NPC tells you to always move forward, to never go down, never fall. And it sucks that there'll be moments where you get fooled by someone or something, thinking that you will find something greater if you continue to follow it, or you will be, let's say, granted your wildest imaginations of, let's say, for example, finding the person that you love, or money, or fame, or stuff like that. But then you come crashing down because it was all a lie. it definitely makes you think, like, what the hell? It was definitely a roller coaster of emotions, but definitely heed the advice from the NPC. Never, never fall down. Pick yourself up and continue to move forward. Climb high. And if you ever see that light of lies, betrayal, just look away.